There is a person in your life, or there was one, who made you feel like you were special from the very first moment you met them. They paid attention to you in a way that nobody else ever had. They remembered the small things you said. They made you feel seen, understood, and valued in a way that felt almost too good to be true. And then, slowly, everything changed. The kindness became control. The attention became surveillance. The love became a weapon. And you were left wondering how you ended up in this situation, what you did wrong, and why, out of everyone in the world, it happened to you. Here's the truth that most people never hear. It was not an accident. It was not bad luck. It was not because you are weak or broken or foolish. It was because you have specific qualities that narcissists are trained through years of experience to identify and target. Narcissists do not choose their victims randomly. They do not stumble into relationships by accident. They scan their environment with a level of precision that most people would never expect, looking for specific traits, specific wounds, and specific needs that they know they can exploit. They are not doing this consciously in the way that a criminal plans a crime. It is more instinctive than that. It is something they have learned to do over a lifetime of using people to meet their own needs. But make no mistake, there is a pattern. There is always a pattern. And once you understand that pattern, once you see exactly what they are looking for and why they chose you specifically, two things happen. First, the shame and self-blame that you have been carrying starts to dissolve, because you will realize that being chosen by a narcissist was never a reflection of your weakness. It was a reflection of your strength, twisted and weaponized against you. And second, you will never be an easy target again. Before a narcissist ever approaches you, they have already been studying you. This is the part that most people never realize, and it is the part that makes narcissists so effective at what they do. They are observers, patient, calculated, precise observers. In any social setting, a narcissist is scanning the room. While everyone else is busy talking, laughing, and connecting, the narcissist is watching. They are watching how people interact. They are watching who seems confident and who seems insecure. They are watching who seeks approval and who gives it freely. They are watching who laughs too hard at other people's jokes, who apologizes when they do not need to, who shrinks themselves to make others comfortable. They are collecting information without you ever knowing they're doing it. And the information they are collecting is not random. They are specifically looking for what psychologists call narcissistic supply, which is the emotional energy, attention, admiration, and validation that narcissists need to survive. Not every person can provide that supply in the quantity and quality that a narcissist needs, so they are selective. They are looking for someone who has a lot to give, someone who gives it freely, and someone who has a need that the narcissist can pretend to fill. This is why narcissists are often described as charming and socially perceptive. They are not charming in the way that genuinely warm people are charming. They are charming in the way that a skilled salesperson is charming, because they have already figured out exactly what you want to hear before they ever open their mouth. By the time a narcissist walks up to you and starts a conversation, they already know your soft spots. They already know what kind of attention you are hungry for. They already know what kind of person you have been waiting to meet, and they are going to pretend to be exactly that person. This is not a coincidence. This is a strategy, and it starts long before you ever feel it happening.
Now here is where it gets important, because the traits that narcissists look for in a victim are not the traits that weak or damaged people have. They are the traits that genuinely good, caring, and emotionally rich people have. And that is the cruelest part of this entire thing. The first trait narcissists target is empathy. If you are someone who naturally feels what other people feel, who cannot watch someone suffer without wanting to help, who takes on other people's pain as if it were your own, you are exactly what a narcissist is looking for. Empathy is the most valuable resource a narcissist can find in another person, because empathy means you will always try to understand them, always give them the benefit of the doubt, always find a reason to forgive them, and always feel guilty when they tell you that you hurt them. Your empathy is not a weakness, but in the hands of a narcissist, it becomes one. The second trait they target is a strong need to help or fix people. If you are someone who naturally gravitates toward people who are struggling, who feels a deep satisfaction from being the person someone leans on, who believes that love means showing up for people even when it is hard, a narcissist will find you incredibly attractive. Not because they love you, but because you come with a built-in motivation to stay. Every time they show you their pain, their damaged past, their difficult childhood, you will feel compelled to help. And that compulsion will keep you in the relationship long after every rational part of you is screaming to leave. The third trait is low self-worth, or more specifically, a hidden wound around not feeling good enough. This does not mean you walk around feeling sorry for yourself. Many people with this wound appear extremely confident on the outside, but deep down, there is a part of them that still wonders if they are truly lovable, truly worthy, truly enough. Narcissists can sense this wound from miles away, and they know exactly how to exploit it. First, by making you feel more seen and valued than you ever have, and then by slowly withdrawing that validation until you are desperate to get it back. The fourth trait is high conscientiousness, meaning you take your commitment seriously, you feel guilty easily, you hate conflict, and you will bend over backwards to keep the peace. This is exactly the kind of person a narcissist needs, because when the relationship gets difficult, when the narcissist behaves badly, your conscience will tell you to try harder, be more patient, be more understanding. Your integrity will be used against you.
One of the most precise and painful things a narcissist does during the early stages of getting to know someone is look for old wounds. Specifically, they are looking for unresolved pain from your past, particularly from your childhood, that they can attach themselves to. This is not something most people talk about, but it is one of the most consistent patterns in how narcissists choose and keep their victims. Here is how it works. In the early stages of the relationship, a narcissist will be unusually interested in your past. They will ask deep questions. They will want to know about your childhood, your parents, your old relationships, your biggest hurts, your deepest fears. And because they are so attentive and so warm and so seemingly safe, you will open up to them in ways you have never opened up to anyone before. You will tell them things you have never told another person. And you will feel an incredible sense of relief and connection when you do, because finally, here is someone who truly wants to know you. What you do not realize is that they are not listening to connect with you. They are listening to map you. Every painful story you share is a data point. Every wound you reveal is a potential lever. If you tell them that your father was cold and critical and never made you feel good enough, the narcissist now knows that what you crave more than anything is consistent approval and warmth from a male authority figure, and they will provide exactly that in the beginning. If you tell them that your last partner cheated on you and left you feeling completely worthless, the narcissist now knows that your deepest fear is abandonment and betrayal, and they will spend the early part of the relationship making you feel completely secure, only to later use the threat of leaving as their most powerful weapon. This is why relationships with narcissists feel so uniquely devastating compared to other bad relationships, because they did not just hurt you, they got inside your oldest and deepest wounds, and they used them against you. The pain is not just about what they did, it is about the fact that you trusted them with the most vulnerable parts of yourself, and they turned that trust into a weapon.
Once a narcissist has identified you as a target, once they have assessed your empathy, your wounds, your needs, and your capacity to provide them with what they want, they move into the phase that makes everything else possible. It is called love bombing, and it is the reason so many intelligent, self-aware people end up in relationships with narcissists without ever seeing it coming. Love bombing is the deliberate overwhelming of another person with affection, attention, and intensity in the early stages of a relationship. It is not normal romantic excitement. It is a calculated flood of everything you have ever wanted, delivered at a pace and intensity that bypasses your rational mind entirely and goes straight to your emotional core. Within days or weeks of meeting you, a narcissist will make you feel like the most important person in the world. They will text you constantly. They will want to spend all of their time with you. They will tell you that they have never met anyone like you, that you are different from everyone else, that they feel a connection with you that they cannot explain. They will say things that feel profound and intimate far too early. They will make future plans with you, talk about your life together, make you feel like they have chosen you above all others, and it will feel incredible. It will feel like finally, after all this time, you have found the person who truly sees you. The reason love bombing works so well on the specific people narcissists target is because those people, the empathetic, the wounded, the givers, are often people who have spent a lot of their life feeling not quite enough. And here is someone who is telling them, clearly and loudly and constantly, that they are more than enough. That feeling is intoxicating. It creates a bond that feels almost like an addiction, because in a very real neurological sense, it is one. Your brain responds to love bombing the same way it responds to a drug. It floods you with dopamine and serotonin. It makes you feel euphoric. And when the narcissist later starts to withdraw that intensity, your brain craves it the way a body craves a substance it has become dependent on. That craving is what keeps you in the relationship. That craving is what makes you keep trying to get back to the way things were in the beginning. And the narcissist knows this. They created it on purpose.
By now, you understand the general profile of a narcissist's target. But you might still be asking yourself, out of everyone they could have chosen, why me specifically? And the answer to that question is both painful and liberating at the same time. They chose you because you were genuinely good. Not perfect, not without flaws, but genuinely, authentically good in the ways that matter most. You have real empathy. You have real loyalty. You have real depth of feeling. You have the capacity to love in a way that is not conditional or transactional. You have a conscience that holds you accountable even when nobody else is watching. You care. You genuinely care about other people, about doing the right thing, about being a good partner, a good friend, a good person. And all of those qualities, every single one of them, are things that a narcissist can see, can use, and can feed off of. They did not choose you because you were broken. They chose you because you are full of the things they are completely empty of, full of emotion, full of empathy, full of genuine human connection. And because they are empty, they are drawn to people who are full, not to fill themselves up in any real way, but to drain you until you are as empty as they are. This is the truth that changes everything. You were not chosen because something is wrong with you. You were chosen because something is very right with you, and someone deeply broken saw that and decided to take it for themselves. The shame does not belong to you. The wound does not define you, and the fact that you survived it, that you are here right now trying to understand what happened, is proof that they did not succeed in breaking you completely. Understanding why narcissists chose you is important, but understanding how to protect yourself going forward is what actually changes your life. The first thing to understand is that you do not need to become cold, closed off, or suspicious of everyone in order to protect yourself. That would mean letting the narcissist win twice, once in the relationship, and once by taking away your ability to trust and connect with others. The goal is not to stop being who you are. The goal is to add awareness to who you are. The first protection is learning to recognize love bombing for what it is. When someone comes on very strong, very fast, when the intensity feels overwhelming in its speed rather than its depth, slow down. Genuine love builds gradually. It does not need to rush. If someone is moving at a pace that feels almost too good to be true, that feeling is worth paying attention to. The second protection is being careful about how much of your past you reveal early in a relationship and to whom. Your wounds are precious. They are not meant to be shared with someone you just met, no matter how safe they make you feel. Take time. Watch how they treat other people. Watch how they behave when things do not go their way. Watch whether their actions match their words over weeks and months, not just days. The third protection is learning to trust your discomfort. Many people who end up with narcissists report that there were early signs, small moments of unease, small things that felt slightly off, that they talked themselves out of because everything else felt so good. Your discomfort is data. It is not always right, but it always deserves to be taken seriously. The fourth and most important protection is doing your own healing. Because the wounds that narcissists target, the need for approval, the fear of abandonment, the belief that you are not quite enough, those are real wounds that deserve real attention. Not because having them makes you weak, but because healing them means that the next person who tries to exploit them will find nothing there to grab onto.
You were not a random choice. You were a deliberate one. A narcissist looked at you and saw exactly what they needed. Your empathy, your loyalty, your depth, your wounds, your capacity to love, and they decided that you were worth pursuing. Not because they valued you, because they wanted to use you. And now that you know this, the most important thing you can do is refuse to let that knowledge make you smaller. Refuse to let it make you suspicious of everyone, closed off to love, or ashamed of the qualities that made you a target in the first place. Your empathy is not the problem. Your kindness is not the problem. Your desire to love and be loved is not the problem. The narcissist was the problem, and the fact that you were chosen by one does not say anything about your worth. It says everything about theirs. You are not a victim of your own goodness. You are a survivor of someone else's emptiness, and that is a completely different thing.